Let's talk about Iran. Does the UK still think that Iranian regime and the Revolutionary Guard still pose a threat on individuals inside the UK?
Well, I'm afraid we have seen direct threats, Iran-backed threats on UK soil, and that is a deep concern to us and for our national security, and that is why we will always stand firm on national security issues and against any kind of threat from the Iranian regime. As you'll know, we've also been very clear and firm around our concerns around the nuclear programme, the Iranian nuclear programme, and that's why we have also restored and strengthened the sanctions around the nuclear programme as well.
President Trump said 2 weeks ago that the US is ready for a deal as soon as Tehran is. So is a deal with the West imminent?
Well, I think this was on the issue around the nuclear programme. We had hoped, we had continually urged Iran to comply with the nuclear non-proliferation treaty requirements to ensure that they were taking seriously their responsibilities to ensure that they could comply with the inspections, the nuclear programme inspectors, and to be able to do so. And we had called on them many times to do so. In the event, they simply did not respond, but we continue to say we want to see a diplomatic process to restore confidence and cooperation around that nuclear programme and preventing the nuclear programme. So we continue to want that diplomatic process, but because we just did not see that progress taking place, we did not see that compliance, that is why we ended up triggering what they call the snapback process and ensuring that sanctions could be strengthened, could be restored in order to maintain the pressure to comply with the requirements.
But the Iranian regime is, if anything, known about it, that it's patient. Is there a deadline for this?
Well, we will continue to put pressure on and we'll continue to urge
And what are the
Iran
options on the
comply.
table? Another military strike?
No, we don't want to see conflict. We don't want to see the conflict return or escalate in any way. What we do, however, want to continue with is a diplomatic pressure on Iran to comply with their basic requirements on nuclear non-proliferation.
We see the UK more involved, especially under this government in the Middle East. You're back on the global scene, especially in the Middle East. What has changed, and where are the areas of interest for the UK?
So we do very much feel that for us in the UK, the partnerships we build across the world, across different regions, are what make us stronger back at home. And whether that is our trading partnerships, we know that the trade, the investment partnerships that we have here in Saudi Arabia, but also across the region, we know that those trading relationships are what make our economy stronger. But we also know that the security partnerships, the diplomatic partnerships, how that also makes us stronger at home. We know that issues, whether it be around Iran, whether it be around issues around Gaza, instability in different parts of the world can have consequences for all of us, and we are all stronger if we maintain those diplomatic partnerships and those trading relationships, those diplomatic relationships and those security relationships. That's why it's so important for me to be here in Riyadh, but it's also why we do see issues around foreign policy, around diplomacy, around those crucial relationships. We want to support peace, we want to prevent conflict in other parts of the world, but we also want that stability and security, because that also helps us back home.
Last question before we wrap. It's headlines, and I cannot avoid this question. Sudan, specifically Al-Fashir. What's the UK stand on this?
It's atrocious. It's really incredibly disturbing what we've seen happening in Al-Fashir. We've seen executions take place in a maternity hospital. We've seen the real reports of the most horrendous atrocities. 130,000 children still at risk as a result of those RSF advances. We are calling for an urgent ceasefire. We are calling for an immediate humanitarian truce so we can support people. It's essential that happens. I'm also particularly troubled by some of the reports that we have seen about sexual violence being used as a weapon of war. These are kinds of atrocities.
Are you involved in the talks for ceasefire as the UK?
So we're supporting, we know that there have been, we support the discussions that have been taking place as part of the Quad involving Saudi Arabia, but also involving the US, the UAE, the Emiratis, and also Egypt as well. That Quad discussions are hugely important, and we'll support that process, but we're also having discussions internationally as well about how we support the process because we do desperately need that ceasefire in place.
I have so many questions about the Middle East, but I know your time is limited. Thank you so much for finding the time for this talk, and good luck.
Lovely to talk to you. Thank you.
Thank you.